So at long last we have reached the final trial of the final day of the final case of the final game of the final boss of the final fantasy of the final of the finality. So, welcome back to Phoenix Wright, y'all. Let's finish this up. So the one thing we found out yesterday is that Soren was there at the crime scene. I only hope I can get some testimony from him that'll get to the heart of the matter. Mr. Wright, you would not believe how stinky I am right now. Good morning, Ellen. Look, I'm afraid you might not like the results of today's trial. Nevertheless, you're looking unusually composed. Oh, well, you were for a second there. Soren is innocent, he can't be found guilty, take me instead. Ellen, please, try and get a hold of yourself, please. This is not helping. Oh. Okay. She's fine. I believe in Soren with all my heart. So how dare you doubt him? I doubt because that's the truth. I'm sorry, you know. Regardless of which one of them is found guilty today, it's gonna be devastating for Ellen, isn't it? We'll just have to do everything we can. It's the best we can do, you know. Trial's about to begin, Mr. Wright, dude. Get in there, man. Alright, let's go, Maya. I was thinking about this one thing. I thought I had my dates mixed up. It's actually possible that Pierce, the butler, could have also been the doctor who did the operation, because when they said that he quit that job, that was like last year. They said something about last year. And so it wouldn't have been 6 months ago, but actually 18 months ago, or something like that. I wish I could, like, conjure up all the details and explain it better, but whatever. I'm sure it'll come up. Day 2. Couch is now in session. How's it going, Judge? Are you ready for the final day of your final job of your final life? Court is back in session for the trial of Ellen Wyatt. I'm not depressed about this at all. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Let's see now, where were we? In yesterday's session, we found out about the Sprocket family's conspiracy to cover up the murder of Dumas Gloomsbury with a second reception. Taking advantage of our collective shock, the defense, as usual, made a nonsensical claim. Namely, that there was a third person present who struck the victim. Objection! Well, that's what I said. Hey, don't try to make it sound like I made it all up. The defendant herself made a statement about the existence of a third person, and further investigation has only proven her statement to be true. Then I presume the defense intends to focus on proving the identity of this third person. Is that alright with you, Mr. Edgeworth? Not really, but indeed, Your Honor, I suppose. In fact, I predict that the defense will most likely attempt to name Mr. Soren Sprocket as the true culprit. How did you know that? Because he's smart. The driver during the accident that killed Mr. Sprocket's sister was the victim. Therefore, Mr. Sprocket had a motive to murder Mr. Gloomsbury. That's what you plan to assert, is it not, Mr. Wright? Damn, he knows me better than I know myself. Come now, Mr. Wright, did you not think that I read the news? Mm-hmm. Congrats on getting it in one, Mr. Edgeworth. More like a hole in one. But... You're wrong! Soren didn't do it! He's innocent! Miss Wyatt, please get off the stand and put your pan down. No! We're not making scrambled eggs here! What is this, Mr. Wright? I thought your claim about the existence of a third person came from the defendant. It did. This is just a minor hiccup. Did you not discuss your strategy for today with the defendant, Mr. Wright? I did, and she is not approving of it, and... It would appear that the defense is in disarray. Therefore, the best way to clear things up is to ask Mr. Sprocket himself what happened. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call Soren Sprocket to the stand. Yikes. Okay, what is his angle here, though? He wants to just go straight for the jugular, apparently. Man, look at those feet. Yep. Depressed as ever. Witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Soren, I'm a writer. Could you tell? I mean, well, I also make paper airplanes, but they don't sell very good on Etsy. It's hard to ship them too, you know, because... Ow! There's something written on this paper airplane. It says, who cares? Let's see, Soren Sprocket, Managing Director of Sprocket Aviation. Wow, Mr. Sprocket, please give your answers in words, not paper airplanes. He's just too depressed to move his mouth. I mean, you know, some days. Now then, Mr. Sprocket. Please tell that doubting lawyer there what really happened at the time of the crime. Does he really think that this... Well, Mr. Sprocket. Damn! Having trouble with the witnesses, as always, Mr. Edgeworth. That's another throwback right there. Alright. God, these witnesses. You want me to talk about what happened when the crime occurred? In other words, after the first wedding reception? Gosh! When Ellen and I were in the reception hall, right? Not even the power of the court can stop him from marching to the beat of his own drum. Well... I don't know what... Man... Alright, what Soren remembers. There must be a reason that he stayed quiet about it. They're like, I don't know. I was stabbed by Dumas in the reception hall and I collapsed to the floor. The next thing I saw was Ellen and Dumas on the Vista deck. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck. But when I got there, Dumas was already... I don't want to believe it, but it must have been Ellen. Nothing else makes sense. What was all that about come home to daddy that you were... Ugh. Wait just a minute here. You actually think Miss Wyatt killed the victim? Well, it's better than admitting that I did it. That's right, Dumas was killed by Ellen. This is unbelievable. Did Edgeworth tell you to say that? How can you suspect your bride, the woman you love? Because I saw her do it. But I still don't care. There's something he's not telling us here. I don't know. The truth can be cruel. Miss Wyatt, you must be very upset. Is there anything you wish to say? Don't ask her. Whoa. Oh, no. No, I can't believe this. Soren. I thought that at least you would believe in me. The best way now to show your love for your groom is to admit your guilt and try to atone. Soren.
Hold it!
Mr. Edgeworth, I haven't even cross-examined the witness yet. And quit picking on the clearly distraught. Yeah, that's not cool, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. A court is where we seek the truth. And the truth is unyielding even to the truly pitiful. Mr. Edgeworth, damn, dude. I find it distasteful to make a lady cry. That too, Your Honor. So what are you gonna do, Nick? If the third person Ellen saw on the Vista deck was Soren, then we gotta prove Soren was there at the time of the murder. I don't see any obvious inconsistencies in his testimony, but we have to push forward. That we do. What Soren remembers, or what he doesn't remember. Because of time travel. Never mind! I was stabbed by Dumas in the reception hall, and I collapsed to the floor. Present. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back off, back off. Press. Please tell me everything you can about when you got stabbed. Okay, it hurt. It sank into my kidney. After the reception, Ellen and I were enjoying a moment alone in the reception hall. Were you really enjoying it with her? If you hate her so much? No. Now I'm being... Never mind. Stop saying never mind, jeez. What are you, Sonya? Then Dumas appeared and stabbed me. He grabbed Ellen and the timekeeper and left the reception hall. Did Mr. Gloomsbury say anything at that time? I don't remember. I wasn't there. I was in pain. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that would make sense, though. I see. Okay, that's one. Next thing you saw was Ellen and Dumas on the Vista deck. What else? Were they kissing? The Vista deck, huh? Was Sin out there? But it was nighttime then. Could you really see them in the darkness? I will follow them into the dark. Haha, see what I did there? The moon was out, so I could see them clearly. From the looks of it, Dumas was trying to push Ellen and the timekeeper off the side. So you saw the defendant. About to be thrown off the airship, you say? That's right, unbelievable as it may seem. In such a desperate situation, it would only be natural for her to fight for her life. And the murder weapon was right there within her grasp. Oh, this isn't going well at all. I gotta do something. No, don't worry, he ain't proved nothing yet. I knew Ellen was in danger, so I headed for the Vista deck. Hold it! I understand that your bride was in danger, but... were you really able to move with a stab wound to the gut? Yes, I am. I am King Hippo, after all. I was desperately trying to push the pain out of my mind. I see, so adrenaline kicked in and gave you strength. Is that right? I see much of anything in this statement I can refute. That's right. I almost passed out several times as I made my way to the Vista deck. We're not really getting anywhere with this so far. But when I got there, Dumas was already... okay. Maybe with this. Are you absolutely sure, Mr. Sprocket, that by the time you got to the Vista deck, the murder had already been committed? It happened that fast? Like, within your sight? I mean, I don't know. Yes? Okay, yeah, but the Vista deck is just on the other side of the glass windows in the reception hall. As I said. Shouldn't you have been able to get there right away? Yeah, I just jumped through the window, you know. Objection! This is not the Gaylord, there are not doors on that glass. Mr. Wright, have you investigated nothing? No! I spent 3 whole episodes on it! The only way to the Vista deck is to go to the hold and take the lift. So he had to spend all that time on the elevator in pain! In pain! No matter how much one hurries, it would take at least 10 minutes. Arnie! Well, that's unhelpful. But Soren had to have gotten there before the murder, or my claim won't stand. But you know, but we don't want it to be him either, though, so that's the thing. Do you have any ideas for me, Maya? Don't look at me, Phoenix! I'm just a... It's definitely easier to prove that someone did go to the hold than not. I mean, you can't leave anything if you don't go someplace, right? Yeah. Well, what did the record say again? Can't leave anything. Wait a minute, I think Maya's on to something here. The lack of a certain something actually proves that Soren didn't go to the hold. Yeah, he wasn't on the record. It was just Pierce and a couple of other dumbasses. What's the matter? Are you stumped already? No, I'm not a tree. No, I'm far from stumped, Mr. Edgeworth. Here comes the straight mouth. I know for a fact that Mr. Sprocket didn't go to the hold. You and your paper-thin bluffs. Mr. Sprocket's bloodstain on the lift proves he went through the hold. So what possible proof could you have had that he did not in fact go through there? You want proof, you got it. You can do this, Phoenix. There's gotta be proof that Soren didn't go through the hold. Well, Mr. Wright, this proves that Mr. Sprocket didn't go through the hold. Let me see. What does the record say? Where are you? Oh, hold entry record. Here we go. Wait, let me see, though, and make sure. Tabasco's Brave Pierce Echo. Yeah, he's not on there. What the heck, dude? Take that. As anyone can see from the hold entry record, there's absolutely no mention of Soren Sprocket entering the hold. Oh, crap. The defense asserts, with my bouncy little finger, that Mr. Sprocket used a different route to get to the Vista deck. You can assert all you want, Mr. Wright, but can you actually prove another route exists? Can I prove the existence of another route to the Vista deck? I think we're gonna have to. Was there a door there? I don't remember seeing one, but maybe I'm just stupid. Very well then, Mr. Wright. What do you got for me? Show us how Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck. Mr. Sprocket made for the Vista deck through here. Huh. Did he actually, like, go out the door? Because it looks like there's room to walk there, or maybe at least climb? It seems too deliberate that the door is there, and you could actually examine this when you were on the ship. Let's try it. What else have we got at this point? Save his bride from danger, Mr. Sprocket. Oh my god. Oh, he's so brave. Look at him. He looks nice without his hat. Open the escape. Of course, you know he's doing it to save his wife. This is like a man in peril, in extreme pain, fighting with everything he's got to save the woman he loves. It's so romantic, man. I'm swooning myself over here. Opened the escape hatch and made his way along the outside wall to the Vista deck. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket? Good on you, man. I've gained a few respect points for you now. More than a few, maybe. Bam! Went right for it. That will certainly be a much faster route than the Vista deck. Oh, come off it. Do you realize how fast the wind blows out there? I'm disappointed, Mr. Wright. Is that really the best you could muster? I don't know. Maybe. That escape hatch is not meant to be used to get from the reception hall to the Vista deck. One slip and that's all it would take for Mr. Sprocket to plunge to his death. Well, he siddled. Like Link. I have to agree, the defense's claim is really stretching it.
Hold it.
Yeah, you do hold it. I understand how it sounds, Your Honor. But at this point, it's too early to definitively say that he didn't go that way. So that's what you're going with then, I take it. Of course, Your Honor. Yep. This is real life, Mr. Wright. Not some cinematic drivel or comic book. Hey now. Do you have some sort of logical explanation to share that would convince us of your claim? Yeah, the lens flare. I do. Are you sure, Nick? Kind of. What are we... Okay, actually I have nothing. So I'll just have to wing it somehow. That's it! He used the wing! Oh, what do you base your theory that Mr. Sprocket made his way along the outside? My theory that he was able to go along the outside wall despite the danger is based on the power of money, the power of authority, oh my god, the power of love. I mean, I think it actually is the power of love. I want to try these other ones, though. I want to see, like, all the dialogue. The power of authority. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I don't know, authority? Would that really be that fun? Let's see. The power of authority. A man of Mr. Sprocket's considerable authority could easily move along that wall. I bet his men had ropes and cushions at the ready in case he fell.
Objection.
Get me, Edgeworth. And these men you speak of, where in the world would they have come from? Well, they'd pop up at the snap of Mr. Sprocket's fingers. I have no idea what you're trying to say, Mr. Wright. Were Mr. Sprocket a man of such great power and influence, why would he voluntarily put himself in harm's way? That's a very good question, Your Honor. And one that I have no intention of answering. A question you should have asked yourself from the start, Mr. Wright. Okay, when I do this from now on, I'm gonna save before I do it, okay? Men who appear at the snap of your fingers? The judge might not appreciate it, but I do. Thanks, Maya. Save. I guess she's trying to cheer me up. Okay, I have to get it right this time. No, you don't. We can try the other answers. This is the last case. I need to do it. I need to see everything. The power of money. I mean, this could be it, though. I don't know. What? Mr. Sprocket used the cloud of currency to move along that wall. After all, you can make anything in this world move with money. Mr. Sprocket's a rich man, so he simply threw his money around to make it happen. Oh, man, beautiful. Huh? I sense you have something against the wealthy. Truly a remark that reflects the meager state of your soul and your piggy bank. I don't think money could have helped Mr. Sprocket in this situation. What's more, I suggest you work on enriching your own spirit, Mr. Wright. Your spirit of justice, that is. Well, I still stand by what I said. My theory that you go, that's well, it's the power of love, baby. To save the bride he loves, the groom risked his life and rushed to her side. Mr. Sprocket was able to make it to the Vista deck despite the danger. Because of the power of love, yo! Even that sounds kind of... The power of love? Don't need money, don't need fame, don't need no credit card to ride in this train. That love is a source of strength that can help one overcome any obstacle. I think I can relate, thanks to my own long, happy marriage. Wow, he actually seems to be buying it.
Objection!
Edgeworth ain't, though. The power of love, you say? That kind of illogical argument is hardly viable in a court of law. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? No. I'm afraid not, Mr. Edgeworth. You should never underestimate the power of love. You'll understand one day when you get married, which I won't! Wow. Exactly what is so wrong with wishing to remain unwed? I set him off, Your Honor. Oh my god. I'm at a loss for words right now. Wow, this... Never mind all this unscientific nonsense. Are you aware, Mr. Wright, that at the time of the crime... there were propellers! Oh, man, but... Well, maybe he hit the switch like Banjo-Kazooie and slowed him down, and then got there before the 30 seconds timer ran out. Even if a person were to go outside through the hatch, he would get sliced to smithereens, man. Nice animation. They'd be blown away in an instant. Ah! Huh. Where does your power of love get you now, Mr. Wright? But it's... a huge spinning propeller, you say? In that case, I have to admit it does seem impossible. Oh, I should have known. You wanted me to say the power of love just so you could go and throw that in my face. Thanks a lot, man. Nick, you can't make that kind of face in front of your client. The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles, man. Right? I can't smile right now. I feel like I just saw Mia looking out at me through Maya's eyes. Oh, that's so sweet. What's wrong, Nick? Why are you gaping at me like a giant sunfish? Because you look like a sunfish. Thank you, Maya. You just helped me remember something really important. There it is. There's that fearless smile I was looking for. Now give us a mind-blowing theory, just like you always do. I have to turn my thinking around. Instead of wondering how Soren could have moved past that huge propeller, I have to think about what would have made it possible for him to do so. Time travel! Your Honor, Mr. Wright is saying time travel, and I'm just going to stop him right there, because that only makes it ridiculous. Wait, Mr. Wright only makes that ridiculous face when his back is pressed against the wall. Therefore, please do hurry and give your ruling before— Nope! Mr. Reed! It's still far too early to discount my theory. What are you talking about? The airship's large spinning propellers have already shredded it to pieces. But if we think a little more outside the box, I'm sure we can find a way he could have made it. Stop trying to stall, Mr. Wright, and get in the bathroom stall now, because you're full of shit. And show us how it could have been remotely possible. And show us how it could have been even remotely possible, if at all. I must agree with Mr. Edgeworth here. Very well, Your Honor. There must have been a way. Some way that Soren could have moved along the wall in spite of the propeller. But in real life, though, no, you wouldn't want to be in this situation. What specifically would have made it possible? The power of love. Again. This is how it would have been possible for Mr. Sprocket to get to the Vista deck. Got to the deck some other way. The airship wasn't flying. Oh! The airship wasn't flying, and that's why Larry saw the pterodactyl, isn't it? I've been wondering about that. The airship wasn't flying. What allowed Mr. Sprocket to go along the outside wall in spite of the propellers is the location of the flying chapel at the time of the crime. The location of the... Are we doing the ringmaster's head stuff again? But wasn't it flying high in the sky? No, actually, Your Honor. I'm afraid it wasn't. What? Then where was it? It was on the ground. At the time of the murder, the airship wasn't flying through the sky, but more to the ground. Mm-hmm. And if the airship wasn't flying, then that means the propellers weren't turning. Oh, man. In which case... There you go. Mr. Sprocket could have gotten to the Vista deck along the outside wall. It wouldn't have even been that dangerous then, because he wouldn't have had all the wind blowing against him. Wow, so much for that depiction. Whoa! His thumb is throbbing like DK's thumb after Diddy Kong bites it. I don't remember. Ow, he stabbed himself with his pencil. That's gonna leave a mark.
Objection!
I've had just about enough of this. Even if the propellers weren't turning, it would have been far too risky to go that way. Ah, but Mr. Edgeworth, you're forgetting about the power of love! Yes, the amazing power of love. Not this again. Anyway, very well, for the sake of argument, let's assume that the so-called power of love made it possible for Mr. Sprocket to move along the outside wall of the airship. In that case, can you prove that the airship was tied to the ground as you claim, Mr. Wright? Well, yes, I believe I can. You can prove it, can't you? Can't you? Please tell me you can. Maya, can you think of anything we can use to prove it? Can't say I can. Oh, wait! Didn't somebody see something outside a window at the time of the crime? I think I remember someone saying as much. Do I have a piece of evidence that shows, well, they just gave it to me there, though. Well, what are you waiting for? Listomania, that's what I'm waiting for. Oh my god. This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the crime. Oh boy. There it is.
Take that.
Here we go, you guys. This piece of evidence shows what was outside the airship at the time of the murder. What kind of lousy drawing is that? It's a drawing made by Larry Butts. I'm sorry to bring him up again, but, you know. And what can you prove with that poor attempt at artistry? Only this! Larry made this drawing before he switched the lanterns. So it must have been right around when the murder was being committed. Now, if I could direct the court's attention here... Is that a pterodactyl? Does that mean that the airship actually went back in time to the Cretaceous period?
Objection.
Cretaceous? We've already proven that time travel is nothing more than a gimmick, did we not? We did, and I have no intention of bringing up that shit ever again. But this drawing shows us an important piece of information. It shows us that the airship was actually moored on the ground. And what makes you so sure? That's easy. All you have to do is consider who made this drawing. We're gonna see him. Larry saves the day again, y'all. Larry. That's right, it was Mr. Butts. And we both know what he's like. He must have seen something else and mistaken it for a pterodactyl. I can't argue with you there. Of course not. Hey, wait, just 1 second here. What kind of moron do you guys take me for, dudes? I saw it with my own eyes. The pterodactyl flew right by the window, I tell you. I had the sharp eyes of an artist, don't you believe me? No. Nope. Some friends you guys are. What about the judge? You believe me, right, Your Honor? I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you need to leave this courtroom. Bailiff, if you would. Come on, buddy, let's go. Why doesn't anybody believe me? Don't take it personally, Larry. I know you're just being, well, you. Anyway, now then, so you're saying that what Mr. Butts really saw bears some relation to what was outside the airship at the time of the murder. Yes, Your Honor. At least I think it does. What this pterodactyl really is will prove the airship was anchored at the mooring dock. It had better, anyway. If it doesn't, my whole argument is a bust. If you're that confident about it, then please go ahead and tell us what it really was. Yes, Your Honor. With pleasure. Think, Phoenix, what could that pterodactyl have actually been? Oh, man. It's kind of weird, because it's like he saw... Maybe he saw the glass in the process of being broken, or maybe it wasn't already broken. It seems weird. But, yeah, let's try it. Please take a good look at this sign. At the sign? It appears to have been broken and then repaired. But what does the sign have to do with the pterodactyl? Please focus on this part of the sign. The part that broke off and got reattached? What about it? How about if we turn it like this? Oh, it's upside down. Oh, that shape! It's the pterodactyl in the drawing! Boy, Larry, you really do have a pretty good memory, huh? What Mr. Butts actually saw was this chunk as it was being blown through the air by wind. Yeah. Wow. That's stretching it a little bit. Yeah, Nico B's gonna hate that one. Can't wait to see his reaction. On the day of the murder, there were some heavy winds in the area of the mooring dock. But it's hard to imagine that this sign would make it up as high as an airship would fly. That means the flying chapel must have been anchored at the mooring dock that night. Isn't that right, Mr. Sprocket?
Objection!
What you got? That's more than enough of this power of love nonsense, you pop culture junkie. Present all the proof you want, but your argument is based far too much in conjecture. Why don't we return to reality now? What do you mean too much conjecture? I mean point. Even if the airship wasn't flying, that alone doesn't prove the witness went along the wall. Yeah, it kinda doesn't, does it? Shoot, though. Then how do you propose Mr. Sprocket got to the Vista deck, Mr. Edgeworth? Please tell me. Man, I just took like a huge sip of water and it's everywhere right now. I noticed something as I went over the evidence. Please take a look at this whole entry record. What about it? I don't see Mr. Sprocket listed on here anywhere. Yeah, don't you remember? In yesterday's session, we had a very similar kind of argument. Oh, excuse me. Did we? Honestly, Mr. Wright, are you going senile already? We talked about Larry Butts using the defendant's keycard to enter the hold. Oh, we did talk about that, didn't we? Crap. In other words, even if a person's name isn't on the entry record, it's still possible for that person to have entered by using someone else's card. Ah! Mr. Sprocket, you entered the hold with Mr. Nicody, didn't you? I did. Yes, you did!
Yes, you did!
What? Why did you tell us that in the first place? Pierce is indispensable. I didn't want to mention him unnecessarily and risk having him wrongly accused. I couldn't do it without him. I couldn't do without him. Mr. Sprocket, I ask that you testify in greater detail about your movements that night. Gee whiz, man. Well, okay then. The truth. The truth is out there. The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record. It's kind of the throwback to the Damon Gant case, isn't it? I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic, in a panic, and I'm manic. Wow. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over. So sad. Well, this doesn't help me one bit. Mr. Sprocket, thank you for that. You've concealed information from us time and time again. Who do you think you are, treating this court of law with such irreverence? Wow, dude. You can tell he's chief prosecutor. He ain't messing around. Like, even when the testimony helps him, he's calling him out on being irreverent to the court and leaving stuff out. That's cool, though. That being said, I do appreciate the testimony you gave just now. Oh, well, okay. It still does. I mean, you can't help it, you know. He's winning this case, and he loves it. Thanks to you, we now know why your name doesn't appear on the entry record. Now there are no more inconsistencies in the witness's testimony. Oh... That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. He never leaves a loose end dangling. Well, apparently not. You okay, Nick? I wouldn't exactly call this situation okay. Somehow, I'll have to coax the information we need for an opening out of him. If I even can, that is. Well, time to press, y'all. The truth. With a perfect T. The truth is, I went to the Vista deck with Pierce. Press. You didn't mention this because you didn't want Mr. Nicody to fall under suspicion. Is that because he has something to hide? I just didn't want the police to take up his time with all their questions, that's all. Neither the company nor the household would function smoothly without him. I see. Wow, it sounds like Pierce is absolutely indispensable to the Sprockets. Yeah, we kind of know that, though. Anyway, getting back to your statement. When did you meet up with Mr. Nicody? Nicody. We met up on my way to the Vista deck. I think Pierce and some of my relatives were on another floor. But Pierce heard the commotion and came running to my aid. He could hear the pandemonium all the way from another floor? Is that important? Oh, yeah, we probably should. Yes, please, Your Honor. Very well. Because if he could hear that, then... well... how bad is the sound insulation on this ship, I wonder? Pierce heard the commotion and he came running, okay.
Hold it!
Did Mr. Nicody come alone? I believe some of his subordinates were with him, but I don't remember exactly how many. You may say there were others, but seeing how they pulled that second reception off, can't completely trust anything he has to say either. Huh, yeah. So you, Mr. Nicody, and a few others headed to the Vista deck, is that right? Yeah, we were all gonna go kick his ass together. That's right. That's why my name doesn't appear on the hold entry record.
Hold it!
Okay. Your name doesn't appear on the hold entry record because you entered with Mr. Nicody using his keycard. That's what I just said, you dumbass. That's right. So I guess the hold entry record doesn't matter as much as we thought. But now that Soren's saying he was with Pierce and a few others, it's pretty tough to refute that statement. Well, now there's no telling... Oh my god. What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Cat got your tongue? Did you finally realize there's no point in continuing this trial any longer? Of course not! Oh, wipe that smug look off your face! Mr. Sprocket, please continue with your testimony. Almost there, y'all. I was badly injured from being stabbed, but I was frantic. Like Stingum Tantric, like Snickers guaranteed to satisfy.
Hold it!
Speaking of your injury, how are you doing now? The knife wound is deep and continues to throb with pain. Ugh. Fortunately, my internal organs were spared, but one wrong move could have spelled the end for me there. Even so, I've seen you up and about all over the place since the incident. I'm only following my doctor's orders to perform some daily light exercises. Mr. Wright, you were getting really deep in this man's business, I'd say. Would you like Mr. Sprocket's statement about his condition added to his testimony? Not that it appears especially relevant to me. Well, if the judge thinks it's irrelevant, then we definitely want to add it, don't we? Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to have it added to his testimony. I see, very well. You'll just add anything, won't you? Now we have 6 statements. The knife wound is quite deep and continues to throb with pain.
Hold it!
Your injury was really that deep? Luckily it missed my internal organs, otherwise I wouldn't be alive right now. According to his doctor, his injury will take about 3 weeks to heal. There's no way someone with that kind of injury could have gone along the outside wall. Oh. But he might have been able to with the burst of adrenaline brought on by the pain. You and your power of love bullshit again. Adrenaline, is that your answer for everything? In a court of law, the only thing that matters is evidence, not rampant speculation. At least admit it's scientific rampant speculation. By the time we reached the scene, it was all over. Okay, we haven't seen this one yet. I hope we didn't miss anything there. So you still insist that you reached the Vista deck after the murder had occurred. Is that correct? Yes, that's right. Ellen must have killed him. There's no other explanation. I guess whether Pierce was with Soren or not doesn't change the outcome. Guess not. In fact, more witnesses actually makes it worse for us. So another cover-up, huh? That Soren has too many secrets. I bet he's still hiding other things, too. Yeah, that sounds about... What else could he be hiding, though? In a situation like this, what we have to do is go back to the basics. You mean go over the testimony and check for any lies or inconsistencies? You got it! Alright, Nick, let's go for it. Oh man, we're on our own now. So what this makes me think, the whole candelabra and lift thing, makes me think that he was stabbed in the hold, not in the reception hall, like he's saying. But how would that change things, though, you know? Does that mean that someone tried to stop him? Or, like, well, that would mean that Gloomsbury was still alive at that point? Because, like, who else? Well, of course, that's Gloomsbury's fingerprints on the candelabra, so... Oh, he couldn't have been dead, then! This is what he stabbed him. Well, but yeah, but he still could have done that in the reception hall. I feel like it has to be one of these two. More than likely this one. But which statement, though? Well, the other thing is, like, I mean, I don't know if this is, like, me reading too much into it, but it doesn't look like what he got stabbed with would have gone that deep. And that thing looks like, at most, maybe 1 inch. So it sounds to me like we need to go with candelabra here. That's gonna be my first shot.
Objection!
Oh, damn. Mr. Sprocket, you just said your injury is a knife wound, didn't you? Did he? No. He did say knife, didn't he? Wait, I gotta... Oh, hang on a second. Did he actually say knife? Oh my god, he totally did! Oh my god, how did I... Oh my god, I got so lucky there. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Holy crap. But the weapon you were stabbed with was this candelabra. A fact I know you're quite aware of, because you freaked out when I showed it to you. And also this. This is what I heard directly from Master Soren himself. As you surmised, Master Soren was stabbed by Gloomsbury on the day of the murder. It happened after the first wedding reception. The happy couple was in the reception hall when suddenly Gloomsbury appeared. He attacked Miss Ellen and tried to take her away. Master Soren went to stop him and found himself in a struggle with Gloomsbury. That is when Master Soren was stabbed with a candelabra, he said. Oopsie! So why are you trying to make it look like you're so injured?
Objection!
Uh-huh. It must have been a simple memory slip that made him misspeak. It happens to everyone. It has nothing to do with the case. I don't know, that's a little weak. Slip of the memory is right up there with power of love as far as stuff that's inadmissible here. You must be pretty desperate to point out something so minute. Grr. I have to agree, Mr. Wright. What? You have to agree with Grr? You hardly need to make such a big deal over such a small... Oh, he means not with Mr. Wright, but... But I contend that it's an important inconsistency. Besides, I couldn't find anything else. It's the only thing I have to go after. And I say it's not important. Now let's not waste any more time on this matter. I agree. You agree with everything today, Judge. Everybody has a little memory lapse every now and then.
Hold it!
Well, shoot. But, Your Honor, please let me explain. Please. But can you? Can you really explain to this court what makes this slip so important? Yeah, he's wearing one. After all, it was Soren himself who told Pierce that he had been stabbed by a candelabra. This is more than a simple memory slip. There has to be some kind of reason for it. Well, I guess he's trying to... Okay, the point to focus on here is why the witness would mistake the weapon used to stab him. Think carefully, Phoenix. This could very well change the course of the trial. I see, so why did the witness make that mistake, Mr. Wright? Mr. Sprocket identified the wrong person used against him. The wrong weapon, I mean. Because he misspoke, he's covering for someone, he has no memory of it. Okay, so I don't think it's he misspoke. My first thought is he's covering for someone. Like, covering for Gloomsbury, maybe? But I feel like he has no memory of it is a more interesting answer. I'm gonna try he has no memory and see. Because I think that might actually be wrong. He doesn't remember the incident, let alone the weapon used against him. Not only that, but I believe Mr. Sprocket has some sort of memory disorder. Therefore, the defense contends that Mr. Sprocket's testimony thus far is invalid.
Objection!
Oh, man. Just because you can't find a flaw in his testimony, you want to throw it all out? Your baseless claim is nothing but pure slander of the witness's character. Mr. Edgeworth is correct, Mr. Wright. Can you explain your grounds for making this claim? That's why he's writing all the stuff in the book. Oh, man. And all that time I talked about how time travel and memory is like the same thing. But I never even considered that that could be why he's writing in the book.